Okay, so it is April 1st, and I just wanted to do a review of how my habit tracking has been going. Um, just to kind of give a recap, I started using these habit trackers, I think, in like November, December of 2021. And I just kind of did it. I wasn't taking it too seriously. I wanted to just kind of test it out and then really crack down in 2022. And so this is where it started in January. And you can see there's just kind of like a few things that I wanted, a few goals of things that I wanted to do. So I started out, wanting to wake up by 5 a.m. every day, and it looks like I did pretty well through January. I wanted to try to get 10,000 steps every day. It looks like I did pretty well until, towards the end of the month and just completely fell off with everything. I also was trying to get caught up with a class, and I wanted to study, and just like certain things were fine, other things just kind of fell off. And then I also kind of added, I wanted to do like this little workout plan that I'd had, and I started to do it and it just didn't really happen. And so I decided to add in just like some very specific, not workouts, but like things, moves, that I would do every day. So I started doing squats, wall sits, and planks, and then I tracked like how many reps I did over here. So that was January. Fine, but not the best. And so February, I kind of stepped it up a little bit, and I decided to do squats and planks only. And I decided to drop my steps down to 8,000 because 8,000 was something that was very doable, a lot more doable than getting 10,000 steps every day. To get 10,000 steps, I would have to be at the gym for like an hour and a half every day, and I just didn't feel like doing that. So, but yeah, I didn't do as well with waking up at 5 a.m. Still okay, I think. Did pretty well with the squats and the plank. And then this was something, like I want to try to do a bodybuilding competition at some point, either later this year or next year. And so I'm just trying to build little habits that will get me, so whenever I do the bodybuilding competition, I'm not just like jumping all into everything at once, because I kind of tried to do that last year and it kind of fell apart. So I'm just trying to slowly build habits now instead of jumping into everything. So I wanted to try to get used to logging my workouts in MyFitnessPal. So that's what that was. And then I just kind of gave up on it. But this was another little workout thing that I added on too, was it's this little machine that I bought off of like an Instagram ad to do hip thrusters with, and I'm like, this has been sitting at my house forever, I'm gonna start using it. And so I started doing thrusters, squats, and planks every day. And then I also, again, like I really wanted to push and study, and so I was trying to log my study and work hours just to try to keep myself consistent, because it's been hard working from home to try to stay consistent with all of that. And I did work or study more than this, but I realized I had like set my study goals too high, and it was kind of hard to like keep track of like, did I study 6 hours this day? Because I would study for a little bit and then I may go to the store and then come back, and it was hard for me to track exactly how many hours I was studying every day. And then that's just making content for YouTube or social media or whatever. And I also wanted to try logging my food again. So if I'm doing a bodybuilding competition, I'll need to probably be hitting certain macros and things like that. So I wanted to start logging food. And then I also wanted to kind of get into a nighttime routine. And so that was kind of like what that was. Like, let me reflect and plan at night and try to get in a routine. And then this is something I added on later on too, is journaling. And I've talked about this on another video, but I started filling in this kind of introspective journal that has like quotes and prompts, like writing prompts, and I've really been enjoying it. So that's something I added on there that I have kept up with pretty consistently, actually, throughout the year. Did I do this in January? I think I was doing that in January too, but maybe not necessarily logging it. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that was February. And then here's March, the month I just finished, and I feel like I'm just getting like better and better. So I still had the goal of waking up before 5 a.m. and I kind of tried giving myself some leniency on the weekends, but I don't think I'm gonna do that this month. Also, daylight savings time kind of screwed me up, and then over here, I went on like a little weekend trip for spring break. I had the Friday off of work, and so I didn't kind of hold myself to waking up, but I think this next month I do. I think kind of letting myself sleep in some days throws some things off, so I'm going to try to stay consistent. Did pretty good with my steps, especially since I lowered it to 8,000. But I think I'm actually going to lower it to 7,000 because I'm pretty consistent. Like if I go to the gym and spend an hour walking at the gym, at some point during the day I will get the 8,000 steps, but on these days that I didn't, it was just because I didn't go to the gym that morning. And here I had like a lot of work I wanted to try to finish up before I took my little vacation, and so I decided to skip the gym and just spend some extra time working. And then I didn't go to the gym on my vacation. I just kind of stayed locked inside and just kind of chilled out and relaxing, so that's fine for that. But I 100% can get 7,000 steps in my hour walking at the gym. So just to keep any stress of me off, like basically what I'm trying to do now is to make the habits, like I don't want to make them too easy, but then I also don't want to make them be something that I'm going to feel like I want to stop doing. And then, because I have a tendency to get started on habits and feeling really good about them for a while and then just stopping and then not getting back into it. So I want to try to stop that from happening, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down to 7,000, because if I go walk in the morning, I'll get it down to 7,000. I can mark it right off. And then I'm still doing the thrusters and the planks and the squats, and I'm actually, at some point over here, I think I decided to bring the reps down because I was doing 15 reps, like 3 sets of 15 reps on the thrusters, and I don't know, it got to where I was starting to like kind of dread doing them in the morning. I just really didn't want to do them. And so by bringing it down by 5 reps to 10 reps, 3 sets, I don't know, I don't feel that block anymore of like, ugh, I don't want to do this. Like I feel like 10 for some reason is way more doable. Even though none of it's hard, it's just doing it. Same thing with the squats. I was doing 25 reps, 1 set of 25 reps for the squats, and I've decided, you know what, I don't want to do 25 reps, I want to do 20. So for like the last week or so, I've been bringing down my reps, and it's fine. Like honestly, my legs are feeling so strong, like just by doing one exercise consistently. Like it's kind of crazy like how much strength you can build, even if you're not like feel like you're working out all that hard. And so that's what I want to stay with. I want to stay with that consistently, something that's easy, that I'm not dreading, that I can stick with consistently. And so I'm going to keep sticking with that, and I hope like maybe later on in the summer actually add some more things like some gym exercises into that. This again was that journal. I did it all month, and I plan to keep doing it until I finish the book. I'm really liking it, and I've got like a system now to where it doesn't, like, I enjoy doing it because I've given myself like a time limit. I'm like, look, you've only got 10 minutes, right? And like I have a tendency to overthink things. And so the way I've set it up is kind of like with the writing prompt, if it's something that's kind of difficult for me, and sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to answer this question or respond to this, but I just force myself to write. I'm like, look, you got 10 minutes, start writing. Whatever comes to your mind, even if it's not about the question, just do it. And I've really enjoyed that so far, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I adjusted down, like I said, I'd had like study for 6 hours and work for 2 hours, and I dropped the studying down to 2 hours. And I was definitely able to hit that for the first half of the month, and then one of my classes ended here, and so there wasn't as much of a push to need to study that much, because my other classes are not really that time consuming for like 2 hours a day. And so I'm gonna drop that down to 1 hour for now, because I don't think I need 2 hours of studying every day with just this one online class. But yeah, like I said, normally on these days I will definitely work more than 2 hours. Some of the days I did and I just didn't remember to mark it. That's one thing I want to really work on this next month, is getting more consistent of tracking my work and my study hours, so that I can see how much, like, I have the app that I showed in one of the videos a while back, and I keep forgetting to, like, I like the app, but I just feel like I need to get more consistent in my routine to track it consistently. So yeah, so I definitely work more than what this looks like, but I just haven't been good at tracking it very well. And then yeah, so this is just going to be working on any content, and I've decided to take it back from 1 hour, so I'm just going to mark on any days that I tend to do any work on any content. So today I would mark this as, you know, working on content. Didn't end up doing that, which I wasn't sure that we would actually. I thought it would be interesting to track how often I showered. And yeah, so doing pretty good, you know, every other day for the most part. And then my plants, the one thing I think I talked about before was I really want to try to be able to grow plants, try to be able to grow my own food. But for now, I've tried growing plants so many times and it's failed. So now I'm just back to, I've got 2 house plants that I'm just trying to keep alive. One of them, Gloria, is doing so well. The other one, not so much. So we'll see how it survives. But I'm trying. I'm checking almost every day except for when I'm on vacation. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. I honestly can't remember what I had here before, but it was something that I marked out. And I added this moon diary, and I think it's because I got this at some point in the month. And it's something I want to try to... I'm getting into, like, moon stuff. Like, I think I just like the fact that, I mean, the moon is a cycle and it's cyclical and it's something you can depend on, and you know when the moon is going to come up, and you know when it's going to be full or when it's going to be a new moon. And I kind of like feeling that, I guess, connection to the universe through following the moon cycles. So that's been kind of fun for me. And so yeah, I thought this would be, because I'm trying to build a nighttime routine, I thought this would be something that would be good to help me with that. And I just haven't really gotten into filling it out very well. Like, it has, you know, slots for every day of the week, and I just haven't known what to write in those. But one thing I do like is for every new month, let's see if I can find a month one. Yeah, so whenever it starts the month, you can kind of read about, like, what the moon's going to be doing that month. And then whenever they have, like, a full moon, like, it talks about the full moon and what it means. And then you can kind of, like, it has some things you can fill in. I haven't really felt connected with the full moon stuff, but I do like the new moon stuff, because the new moon is more about, like, setting goals and starting fresh. And, you know, it's a good time to really start, like, you know, beyond the first of the year. It's a different time to kind of start fresh on new goals. And so it talks about all the new moons, and then it has a section here for you to kind of set your goals or intentions for that month, like what is your biggest goal for this month and things like that. So I will probably at least fill that in, but I do want to try to do something with this at night. Like, I don't know what I'm going to fill this in with, but I do want to try to sit down every night just to kind of wind myself down and get in, like, a nighttime routine. And I'm hoping this will help. We'll see. Clearly, I didn't use it very well last month, but I did on the third quarter moon, and then I did last night on the new moon. So we'll see how this goes. And yeah, another thing that I really, 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 really need to start doing is, like, planning at night for the next day. And I felt it was kind of redundant to, like, check my calendar and do the to-do list, because I can do that both at the same time. But yeah, like, it was really helpful to set a to-do list while I was on vacation, because I tend to, like, I'm so busy all the time. It seems like that when I have free time, I feel like, oh my gosh, there's all of these things that I've been wanting to get done, and I just keep waiting for the free time to do it. And then when I do get free time, I just don't do anything because I don't have anything planned specifically, and so I don't end up doing all of these things that I would always say, like, I want to do this when I have free time. But when I was on this trip, I was actually really good. Let's see, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday was the night that I got there. I wrote out a to-do list of all the things that I wanted to do on Friday, and same thing, Friday, Saturday, I wrote out a to-do list, and so I was actually really productive. Like, not productive in like the work, homework sense, but in just kind of like all of these little things that I've been wanting to do. It was even like self-care things. It was like I put on my to-do list, you know, take a bath, or you know, whatever. I just put everything down and I got all of these things done. Like, one of the things was I've had these magazines in my house for so long. I went to like a secondhand shop that has like a big magazine wall. I picked up a bunch of magazines and I wanted to cut things out and make a vision board or a dream board. And it's literally been sitting in my house, I think, from like 2019. And I keep saying, oh, I'm gonna make a new dream board. And I did. Like, I put that on my list, and that was one of the things. I brought the magazines with me, and you know, I didn't make a dream board, but I did get all of the things cut out so I can finally get rid of these magazines I've been holding on to for so long. But yeah, just little things like that, and it was really helpful to kind of keep me on track and to feel like I didn't just like waste this opportunity to have some free time to get things done. And so I really want to try to keep doing that every night. It helped the next day when I woke up so much. It was like I already had a plan. I already knew what I wanted to do. So yeah, I want to try to keep up with that. I'm just not a before bed reader. Like, that was the plan with putting read on here, is to like try to read before bed, and I may come back to that, but I'm a fall asleep to video type of person, and so yeah, that's what I would do every night. I would immediately feel the itch to like put on a video and fall asleep to it. So maybe I'll try reading this month, but it's not something that I've added on my list. I added a few other things down here, and these are more like things that I've noticed happen to me cyclically, but I haven't pinned down like when they happen, and so I wanted to start putting some of these things on the list so I can kind of mark when they happen, so if there is a pattern to it, then I can kind of figure it out and anticipate it in the future. So one of them was crying, and disregard these numbers. That was like, I tried to put down the hours of sleep that I had, kind of gave up on that. But like, you know, certain times of the month, I feel more emotional. Like, sometimes it's positive things, sometimes it's sad things, but you know, definitely certain times of the month I'm more prone to like crying. And so yeah, sometimes it's because something's definitely made me upset, but like, I don't normally cry. So even like if things are bad or upsetting on a normal day, I will not even cry about it. But certain days of the month, I feel like it's more emotional. And so yeah, this one definitely, like, I marked down when I had my period as well, cry days. So that's something good to note. Also realize that there's certain days that I'm just super, super, super easily distracted. Thankfully, it's not every day for me, and it's really only bad like 3 or 4 days out of the month. Maybe, yeah, 2 or 3 like really, really bad, and then other days are a little bit more distracted. And I actually think that these first 3 or 4 were really the only bad ones, and the other ones were just kind of like a little bit distractible, but when I had them marked them down anyway, just to note it. And also, one day I definitely experienced brain fog, and I wanted to kind of note that too. But I feel like I used to get brain fog a lot, and I was really struggling with like getting work done and getting schoolwork done and everything. But I actually feel like having this routine and building these habits maybe has helped me for some reason not have as much brain fog. Or I've also been taking like my vitamins every day and a couple of supplements. I just started taking this, so I don't think this had anything to do with it, but I recently got this stuff because I was reading, somebody was talking about having ADHD, and I talk about it a little bit in another video, how I feel like if I don't have it, then I've definitely got some tendencies towards it. And there was somebody talking about it, like asking about things that had helped, and a ton of people said that this helped them. So I went ahead and got this like a week or two ago, and I've been taking that. I can never tell like a drastic difference when I take medications, I don't think, but I will say tracking like the brain fog has helped me to realize that something I'm doing is working, because I didn't have it as much as I expected to have it, actually. Another thing is shopping. There are certain times of the month that I feel like shopping is uncontrollable for me. Like, not in a like terrible way, but it's like there's certain days out of the month where I'm just like, I don't want to spend any money. I want to save, I want to budget, do all this stuff. And then there's other days of the month where I'm like, meh, I could buy this. You know, it's just not as big a deal. And I'll find myself, there's certain days that I'll find myself actively just wanting to buy something. Like, it's not that an ad has popped up. It's that I'm searching on sites that I know I like to buy. Like, I'll go on Amazon and be like, Amazon, give me something to buy, almost. Like, and yeah, so that's what I marked. I think I had one of these days was like that, and then, but I've just overall marked any days that I bought anything. And so yesterday, it was definitely an ad that got me. It wasn't me searching out to go buy things on that day. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of anything I can track. And last thing, so these days I actually decided to fast, just because I've been eating terribly lately. And I do want to try to get my diet back on track. Like, I've been focusing more on like just staying consistent with working out and just throwing the diet out the window, because going into like working out and diet all at once while I'm trying to do work and school is just like a little bit too much for me. But yeah, like, it was really nice this weekend. Like, fasting was pretty easy, and I had my to-do list, and I was staying so busy with all of these like self-care things. And yeah, fasting was pretty easy, and I felt, you know, good whenever I got back. And so yeah, but I will say I definitely noticed like I wouldn't have been able to go work out on these days. I may have been able to go walk, but yeah, I tried the first day after I'd fasted. Like, I didn't eat all day Thursday, and then Friday I tried to do my squats and my plank, and I did them, but it was hard. Saturday I went ahead and did the squats, and after that I was so out of breath, which doesn't happen. And I was just so exhausted that I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do the plank this day. And then Saturday, I started drinking like some diluted orange juice. And then, so I did have a little bit of like calories and carbs. And then Sunday, instead of trying to work out at all, like I did just like this stretch video that I used to do a lot. And that was really nice. Like, I like that. But anyway, enough of that. Oh yeah, here, so these days I was really distracted, and I kind of put like a half there because I was like a little bit distracted but not super distracted. So I don't know, I don't know how these bottom ones are really gonna work out, but it's just something I've been thinking about for a while that I want to track. And since I've been doing so well at tracking other things every day, felt like I'd throw them in here. One other thing, so there's two other things that I may add on here as like a little thing at the top. So I've noticed like one day out of the month, I will be incredibly thirsty. Like, I will wake up in the middle of the night thirsty. I will be like, as soon as I wake up, I'll just be so thirsty like all morning. And it's so intense that I've noticed that it happens, and I'm like, why is this happening? And so again, I thought I would just mark when it happens, just to see if it happens like a certain time every month so I can expect it. I don't know. So I just put like a little water drop right there to signify like I was really thirsty this day. And another thing, like, this is a really weird one, I feel like, but it seems like there's certain days out of the month, like just 1 or 2 days, that being barefoot feels so, so, so good to me. Like, I don't normally notice like sensory things on my feet, but there's certain like days out of the month that just like I really like walking around barefoot. I like how the floor feels on my feet. I like walking just, I don't know, it just feels like there's more sensations in my feet on certain days, if that makes sense. I don't know, but next time it happens, I'm going to mark, maybe like draw a little foot up here just to mark that it's happened, just again to see if it's a cyclical type of thing. I don't know, but whatever. So this was March. Feel pretty happy about it. Still some things to work on, but I feel like, you know, I'm doing some things consistently, which does make me feel a little bit like I'm getting my life back together. So this is the new plan for April. I filled it out last night, and we'll see how it goes. Like, it just keeps getting longer and longer, but things are kind of moving around and changing, so we'll see how it goes. Again, I feel like with these, down to the journaling part, I don't think I should have any problem filling it out every day, and that is like my goal, is like for as many days as I can, I want to try to get all of those filled out. And I definitely think it's doable since I've dropped the steps down to 7,000, since I've dropped my reps down to these a little bit. Like I said, the journal and the plants have been pretty good every day. So those are good. I'm excited about those. Already did them today. We're good. Work by 8 a.m. So like I said, I've been having a hard time like tracking exactly like when I'm working, how many hours I'm working, whatever. So I feel like if I can just set a time, I'm going to start work by 8 a.m. That, you know, I can be here at my desk. I can start my like work tracker timer thing and see how much I work. And the goal is to get it started by 8 a.m. and then also at that time period work at least 2 solid hours. So nonstop. So that's my goal. And then also set the goal of studying 1 hour every day, which I think is doable for me, because normally in my one class, my teacher will post 2 or 3 videos a week, and they're generally about an hour long. And so if I watch those, that'll be 3 days of the week that I'll get like an hour of my studying done. And then I definitely think there's like 3 or 4 days out of the week that I will get an hour of studying done. And then I have another class that kicks in the middle of this month. And so then I will get more studying in. But I want to try, like, even if I'm not working towards that class, I want to be studying something, you know, something that I find interesting. So that's going to be lumped into there too. Like probably something related to my dissertation, like reading an article or something. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get this all blocked in every day. I've already kind of missed the 8 a.m. thing today because my meeting got canceled, and then I just didn't get around to starting work at 8 a.m. But I'm still going to try to get, you know, at least the 2 hours in. More, probably 6 to 8 in probably today, because I have quite a bit of work to do. But then, yeah, so I can mark out the content on here, because that's what I'm doing right now. Probably planning to shower tonight, because it's been 2 days. And then this is kind of like my bedtime sort of routine that I'm trying to get. So like I said, I want to try to do the moon diary, do a to-do list, bed prep. That's another thing that helps on the nights that I do it, especially like if I do these the night before, it helps me to wake up the next morning, I find. So if I have like I have this like thing of pre-workout next to my bed, and I don't mix it the night before because I feel like it doesn't work as well. But I have like the can of pre-workout and a glass, and then I have like a pitcher of water. So, you know, when I have that sitting out at night, I wake up in the morning, I pour that right away, drink that, and then if I have my clothes laying out, you know, ready to go. So it's just like this bed prep is like trying to prepare all of the things in the morning at night, you know, so I can just wake up in the morning and just go, and there's not like any decisions or anything to be made in the morning. So yeah, like get the coffee maker ready, get, you know, anything ready the night before that I can. And then I went ahead and put the cry column on there just to see, again, if I'm like emotional during certain times of the month, distracted, brain fog, shopping. And then I added on down here meal tracking, because even though I've totally failed in like January and February with that, I think I do want to try to do it, because like I said, my diet has just been completely out of control, and sometimes it hits right. Sometimes if I start meal tracking, it helps me stay more on track, and then sometimes it's just like a stress, because I like, even though I'm meal tracking, I still want to eat a lot of like bad stuff all throughout the day, and then it gets stressful to try to track it, because it is hard to track if you're just eating random things. But this month I want to kind of try to go into a plan. I've started getting, like, Purple Carrot has released some pre-made meals, which Purple Carrot was the like meal recipe delivery service I was using for a while, and then it was just, I didn't have time to cook, I didn't feel like cooking, and so I had them, like, I'd been skipping my shipments for like the last couple months, but then I saw they had these prepared meals, which are like $1 more expensive, but I gave them a try this week, and they're really good. And so I think if I'm getting those prepared meals, they'll be easy to put in my tracker, and then, you know, just kind of try to watch what I ate throughout the day, which it helped today because my roommate actually went to McDonald's. He's been going to McDonald's for breakfast lately, and I started to tell him I wanted like a frappe, and then I was like, no, don't do it, because if I eat early, normally I'm not super hungry, but it's like once I break, you know, people talk about drinking and like breaking the seal. It's almost like it's like that with my appetite. It's like once I break the seal throughout the day of eating, it's like I just eat all day. So when I've tried to diet and tried to do, you know, how people say, oh, you need to have like 6 meals a day and snacks and all this stuff and just make them small, like that, for whatever reason, that method does not work for me. It's like if I try to eat like the small meals throughout the day, I'll just end up eating constantly and being hungry all day, and all I'm thinking about is food. So for me, the option is better. Like, fasting is better for me, at least, just like maybe not full day fasting like I was doing on my trip, but intermittent fasting at least. And so that's kind of what I'm going to try to stick to, you know, kind of putting off eating until sometime in the afternoon, and then, yeah, hopefully I won't be eating that much and it'll be easy to track. And yeah, so we'll see how this month goes. I've got the moon phases listed on here so I can kind of keep up with the moon, and I've got like a moon, I have the Lunarly box, and it comes with like this what is it, intention setting journal. And so like on the new moon, you'll kind of set some intentions, and then you follow up on the first quarter moon, and then the full moon, and then the third quarter moon. And so I've kind of got those on here to mark kind of when I need to pull this out and like revisit my intentions. And I guess I can just kind of look. And it's kind of weird because at first, like, they call it the new moon is like planting the seeds for your intentions, and so I thought that would be like whenever you would set your goals. But then in this booklet, what it does is kind of like, it sounds like on the new moon you just kind of say like, this is what I intend to do, and then it's like the first quarter, and you just keep, like, it's about like having affirmations and kind of like putting yourself in the place of you're that person, talking in present tense, or kind of like law of attraction sort of stuff, which I don't necessarily ascribe to, but I feel like there could be some benefit to it. But yeah, and then it seems like on the new moon, it's kind of like, okay, you planted those seeds of intention, but then at the first quarter moon, it says nourish those intentions with determined energy. And so what actions can you take towards your goal? You know, kind of like what specific actions can you take? And the full moon seems to be about release, letting go of anything that hasn't worked for you. And then third quarter moon is like, okay, well, here you start looking back and celebrating. I don't know. I'm just now starting to do this, but kind of for the new moon, I said this month I will continue making forward progress in work and school. I will keep working to build positive habits that will help me achieve my goals throughout the rest of my life. And then here's kind of like the positive affirmation. I am stress-free and happy with where I'm at life. I'm no longer struggling to achieve more. My life is in order and I feel a sense of calm and accomplishment. The way I felt like when I was in Eureka Springs on my trip. There's no more stress or anxiety. I have my life together and feel better and better each day. So that's kind of my intentions that I'm planting. Like, I want to get a good steady routine with work and school to where I'm not feeling this constant, it's not super intense all the time, but I do feel like for the most part I have this constant level of stress and anxiety. And when I was on my trip, I just let all that go and it felt so nice and it felt so wonderful. And my goal is to get to a place where I feel that every day. And the way my life is right now, like, the best way to do that is going to be to really get strict on work, and getting caught up. Like, I got caught up with school. That was my focus for the first of the year. And I'm in a really good place in school right now, like the best place that I've been in school in like a really long time, to where I don't feel like I'm behind. I'm actually ahead. I'm actually getting my posts and everything done for our discussions ahead of time before anyone else. And so I'm at a really good place in school right now. I feel like I've developed some pretty good study habits, but now it's kind of getting caught up with work. And I want to get not only caught up, I want to get ahead, I want to get organized. And so that's really going to be my next goal for this coming month. And obviously I'm procrastinating a little bit with that today, but yeah, I'm going to get in it. Like, I want to have, at least kind of this section filled in. I know I can get this section, but I want to bring these 3 in. And I think that will really just step up my life so much. But yeah, so there's kind of an overview of my tracking for the year and what my plans are coming up for the next month, for April. And so I guess we'll see how it goes.